I need to hurry up and make this um, because I gotta head out for a few days, but this is an important video for me to make. A few months ago, I made the video talking about the 1911 and how the 1911 has always been a want of mine. And I posted it. Here it is. I haven't taken it to the range much. I've taken it out a couple times because this is my conversation piece. This is something I have a lot of pride in that I was able to get. And I've taken it to the range a few times. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not much of a 45 guy. I can handle a 45, but I'm not much of a 45 guy. And anyone who knows me in person, has seen me, and generally, you're going to see me with this bad boy. Y'all have seen it in the videos. The Smith & Wesson SD9VE. This has been my carry gun for a while. But there's also one other firearm that has held a special place in my heart. About 12 years ago, I had this. I had a different version of it, but I had it. And I sold it. And it was one of those things, right when I sold it, I was like, dude, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Well, this, besides the 1911, has been one that I've been chasing down for years. I sold it about 12 years ago. And since selling it, never forgave myself for selling it. That would be the FMK 9C1 G2. Now, one of the cool things that you see, and I want you guys to see, it is unloaded. There's nothing in the chamber. It does break down like a Glock. So that's your tear down. Besides my high point over there, this was the second pistol I ever had. Except for the one I had was in all black and had the Bill of Rights printed on it. You can see from the inscription, probably, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it says, Proudly American. Or not Proudly American, Thank You Armed Forces, right? It says FMK on the back. It says Freedom and Liberty with a loaded chamber indicator. And on the bottom, it says E Pluribus Unum, which means out of many, one. Which is essentially the United States motto. Since I put the magazine in, I know I didn't chamber around, but I'm going to double check anyway. This is the single action version. This is not the California compliant version. Theirs is a double action with the magazine with the mag drop safety. This is the one that's not for California. You can see it's got the Glock trigger or the Glock safety. Pretty light trigger pull. You come across, there's two walls. You hit your first wall. Once you hit your first wall, boom, you're ready to go. It does have last round hold open. And as you can see, when you fire the last round, it's going to stay back. The trigger will stay back. That's a way for you to know. The trigger well here, super cool. Meant for if you have gloves on or something. Plenty of space for your finger. I sold this one years ago. Not this specific one, obviously, but one like it. And like 5 minutes after, I was so mad at myself for doing it. The problem is it became discontinued after that. And it went from a $400 MSRP to people were charging crazy amounts of money for this. Well, I found it on a website that will be unnamed because those guys are terrible. It was a terrible transaction that I had with those guys, but I found it. And here we go. It is in my collection again. I did clean it, oiled it, took it out the fire. Not much, but it does fire. Fires well, had no functionality problems. One of the issues that people would have with this one is a lot of times when the slide would not fully go in the battery. So the way to solve that obviously is oil the weapon, do the thing like this, break it in. And a lot of times it can happen with the ammo, like for instance, like it didn't happen that time, but I'll try to get it one more time. I'll try to get it to happen. Otherwise, like a lot of times, see right there, if anything is pushing the slide, it won't go in the battery. Obviously, just bump it forward. But I now have my FMK 9C1 G2 back. Cool thing about it is since this one and my SD9 VE are basically both Glock 19 clones, pretty seamless fit. Actually, this fits a little bit better. In the holsters, let me take my Ruger 380 out. This holster was fit for the SD9 VE. This is the retention holster. And it's a little bit looser for this, but works perfectly fine, man. Put the Ruger back in there. Because the Ruger is coming on this trip with me. Sadly, this is not. But this is. And I'm happy I have it back. So now, the two that I've wanted in my collection, one that I've had before and one that I've always wanted, right here. Of course, this is chambered in 9mm, so it's better. It's way better because it's chambered in 9mm, and we all know 9mm is God's caliber. It is not the 45 like they'll tell you. The 9 is God's caliber. And I trust my life to it, man. And that FMK, trust my life to it. It feels just as good as it always did from when I had it before with the rubber back strap. And I was like I always say, I tend to like the shorter pistol grips because I feel like that for some reason secures it better for me when I'm like this. You know what I mean? As opposed to don't feel comfortable with it like this with the pinky here. So I always have a grip and I'll keep it like this, and that's just the way that I've always been, right? So that's the, you could teacup it. I've done that before, but the 2 thumbs forward method is always better. Now that I've perfected how I like to shoot over the years, I mean, I've teacupped it. I've done this. No. Both 2 thumbs forward. That's the grip. And I now have my FMK back. Later.